Welcome, folks, to the podcast. We're kicking things off here at We're Experts Now. I'm your co host, Rebecca.
I'm Jackie, and I am already dropping things in the background awkwardly. So it's
Ooh,
definitely another week of we're experts now. That's right where we are. How you been? What have you been up to lately? Tell
right on
us.
track. Par for the course. Yeah, what have I been up to? Court's in session. I'll tell you that. Court doesn't sleep, okay? Justice never sleeps. And I came so close to living one of my dreams, being chosen for jury duty. This is why they didn't choose me. They're like, this, she can't get a sentence. She can't even say a word. Well, it was even more complicated than just not getting chosen because I was like, nothing is going to stand between me and my civic duty. It wasn't even that I wasn't selected or got dismissed after the interview process. I didn't even get to the interview process. I had to do 2 days of jury duty, which won me a whopping $30. No gas stipend was awarded. Note that. California. Okay, thanks. Obama. I don't know. Uh, but I don't know what happened. This is kind of why I feel like an amateur. Everyone was dismissed on the second day. So they were just like, a lot of waiting, and then finally they kind of don't update you. They're like, it's not our prerogative to tell you what happened. They just suddenly someone is calling names and handing out checks, and you're like, okay, I
I do
guess they're
like
like,
it when my name is called and someone hands me a check, though. That is quite nice, and that rarely happens to me.
yeah. And no one, and it was one of those moments where I was like, confused because a big group of people that were in the same courtroom as me had come from one hallway, but then I'd come from just outside. So I was like, do they have more information than I do? And then finally I was just like, I don't know who to ask. No one's official and no one wants to be bothered. I tried to go up to the window and they were like, if you're with 104, wait outside. And I was like, okay, no one wants to tell me what's going on. Fine. I'm just a citizen. And then
Citizen.
yeah, finally they gave me my check, I was like, what does this mean? I don't know what this means. She was like, it's you're done. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay. And that was all the info I got. So here I feel like an amateur because first of all, it was even just a news flash to me that the whole reason we're there as jurors is because someone has pled innocent. Otherwise, it would have just been they pled guilty or they were literally caught in the act. So I'm like, is that how it works? Where if police officers see you doing the crime, then you're just like in jail until a judge is like, yes, officer saw you doing the crime. I agree, you're guilty, or I don't agree, you're innocent. And then you can just go
No.
free.
You
Like, how
can,
does it work?
if you're caught red-handed, you can still plead innocent. And you could also plead innocent by insanity, plead innocent by self-defense. There's a lot of other things, but you have to plead regardless. If you enter a no plea, which is I think what I texted you earlier, there's like an Alford plea, which where you can basically say, I'm not saying I did it or didn't do it, but you have a lot of information that says I might have done it, and I don't think I'll win in trial. So I'm going to take the sentence, but not agree to me doing it. So, regardless of if there is a trial, it is because someone has pled not guilty or something along
Right,
those
not
lines.
guilty.
You can also like plead like no contest. Like, if you get, I don't know, like if you get a DUI, for example, a lot of people don't want to plead guilty, but you can say no contest of, yeah, I'm not contesting you. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just not saying you're right either. So,
I wonder what that benefits you because it's like if you're still going to get it on your record or have to tell people you're in, Mothers Against Drunk Driving classes, what's the point?
a lot of the time it's like a bargaining chip that you can use like when you are like trying to decide uh like what your plead is. Like typically you're not going to do it on a DUI class, for example, or a DUI, or they're just going to let you say no contest. But it's like if you did 6 murders and they really just want you to say that you did it, they might like take that no contest off the table and be like, listen, if you want this plea deal, you did 6 murders. If you want to not get, say, like if it's a death penalty state, not get the electric chair. I don't think they do that anymore. But if you wanted to not get whatever they're going to give you, then you might say, okay, if I plead guilty all 6 murders, will you give me life in prison instead of the death penalty? So there's a lot of like nuance, and I think almost said each country, each state has its own. But we're really reaching the end of my
Wow.
knowledge that I've gotten
Well,
through 23 seasons of Law and Order SVU.
yeah, great. That's our citizen sleuthing at work right there. Well, it was fun to get a glimpse of the true American dream, the democratic process. And I'll be hoping my name gets called again one of these fine days, and I will. I didn't realize I was going to have to look at pictures and evidence. I thought I could just like kind of go off vibes. So
No.
that was a shock to me. Anyhow, that's how I'm doing. Jackie, what's got your curiosity this week?
Okay, well, I think that most people know how I feel about sports because I tend to refer to it as sports ball. So I think we decided to ease our way into home plate of
Oh
the
God.
topic this week. As so I thought we were going to ease our way into the home plate of the topic
What is
this week.
happening? Did you have a stroke over there?
My cat is like banging on a wall somewhere, and I don't even know how he's doing it, but he did it the other night in the middle of my sleep. So, as that very graceless thing that just happened. Anyway, so we are going to be talking about kickball because it sounds like an easy thing to get involved with. I feel like there's probably not a lot of rules to kickball.
Kickball.
And then
Hey.
also, how do you like run a league or a team of
Hmm.
kickballers?
An elite intramural kickballer league.
Well, in this scenario, it's going to be a gay one because
Oh,
that's just what we enjoy, a little gay kickball.
kickball does seem like it would be queer friendly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting
Mm-hmm.
those vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I
Okay.
okay.
First things first, you need a kickball. Or are you going to go with inspiration?
No, I think that's all you need. I don't even think you need a field, really. You got a kickball and you're kicking.
Don't you need a field because it's like isn't it a baseball
I mean, I
diamond?
think you technically need a field, but I feel like the spirit of kickball is just like you and that ball, that's all you really need. And
The
then,
inspiration.
yeah, if you have your zoned off is that a baseball diamond? Because it's like,
I think it is. That's what I've
yeah,
played it on.
because it feels like kickball is like, let's make baseball easier. Let's make baseball accessible to everyone that has
Yeah.
feet.
It has to be. Well, I feel like, okay, I don't know if kickball or baseball came first, which is a great question that we might explore one day. Um,
Because
but I feel
kickball
like,
is basically baseball. You like stand at the plate and you kick it and then you run bases, and that's so
yeah.
it feels like it's just like a, let's make this a fun thing you can play while drunk.
Yeah, so I'm going to go with off of that theory, I'm going to go with baseball came first. And then some people were like, well, I remember playing kickball as a kid. I remember like PE, that's where I originally played it. And yeah, you get your teams. I don't know how many people are supposed to be on a team. I would guess 10ish. Um, maybe some alternates.
Okay.
And
I was gonna say 6, but 10
6.
sounds
Okay.
good.
I
Also,
feel
I
like
think now I'm retracting that kickball might even be older, because I'm thinking of like ancient civilizations, and they used to like cut their people's head off and then play kickball with that. So I'm like, that technically was like the first, but that was maybe more of like football or
that was
rugby or
kick
something.
head.
Kick head,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that was kick head, not kick ball. Honestly,
Kick
I was
skull.
totally against where you were going with that until yeah, like I don't you might be right, like cuz I was thinking rubber ball, which is all I've ever played with.
Hmm.
Baseballs were invented before rubber.
Skin,
So,
some sort of skin, some sort of
I don't like
leather.
where this is going. I don't like it.
You know what? It's all coming back to skin.
I don't like it. I don't like it. Okay, so okay, I don't care about who's older now.
But
I
in the
just
modern world,
oh my
most of
god,
us get our first taste.
that's why they call it a pigskin, isn't it? The football.
Yes, Jackie. It's literally made of pig.
Oh god.
That's why we serve loaded baked potatoes every NFL season.
I don't get it.
Bacon. because
Okay,
you got to
okay.
eat the, you got to use the whole animal. That was a reach, but no, it is,
I'm just
yeah,
still upset about
absolutely
the
pig
knowledge
skin.
that I just found out about, and I can't move past
And
it.
I think baseballs used to be like horse or something, and they were like, we got to do cow. We can't be killing all these horses.
It's still cow? Like, we haven't figured out a synthetic material? These are still all animals?
It's leather, Jackie.
Okay,
That's
well,
the
I
polite
prefer
word for
kickball
it.
because it is plastic.
Because it's just the melted hooves of horses, so
Oh
that's fine.
god.
No, it's
I
probably rubber,
hate
probably from rubber
sports.
from a rubber tree.
This is why I don't like sports ball. Okay. So you have a couple teams. Well, in this scenario you'd have a league because when I played kickball it was like literally a bunch of it was children, and then I played it like when I was 20 with a bunch of friends drunk in a park, right?
Exactly.
And this was
That
just
was
like you
nice.
get your friends together and you play one game. And this scenario there is a league. So you got to have a league chief.
Yeah, it feels like you need one person with the inspiration to find other like-minded people in their area, get them all to sign up for something. There's probably already an organization, like find the organization in your area, see what criteria you need to meet, get your people together, be like, here's my clipboard of everyone's names. We're ready to be the San Francisco Swift Kickers,
I like it.
right? A little Taylor Swift nod there,
A
maybe?
little
You don't
a little
know.
Swifties, yeah. And then Taylor Swift could be their like mascot. This is getting very queer now. We're getting
Taylor
there.
Swift is gay. You heard it here. That's my own
uh,
personal conspiracy theory.
you know what? If she is, I support her in that journey. You know what? Go get it, girl. Okay, so we got a league. Okay, and you got your league chief, and then you
Yeah.
got your team captains. That's one I think I
Oh.
got that word right.
You don't think the
And
chief wants to be the captain?
no, because the chief is over all of the things.
Oh,
He
he's
can
like your
also
team
he
manager.
or they could
Or
also
they.
be the a manager of a team captain. They could be a team captain and the league. But I would argue that that leads to bias because you could pick the rules that fit you best.
I
And
think
then
maybe you have to make it fair. Like you still have to do tryouts or whatever.
okay. And then I think you need refs. Kickball refs.
I would think
Uh,
that would come with the organization, no?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you're league chief, you got to have your captains, and then you got to get your
So
ref
you're talking about
guys.
starting a whole citywide network of teams.
I think I've surpassed the goal of this episode.
Yeah, I'm like, if you're just starting your one kickball team, I think you just need you and your team and practice
Okay,
time. And then you'll
okay,
go to the games and matches provided by whatever intramural league that you're like, okay, we're officially a team because we've
okay,
officially signed up with a league.
okay. I get it. I'm following. I think you're correct here.
But you
Uh,
could do BYO refs and be like, no, these
bring your own
refs,
ref.
these are the refs we're going to be using.
These are my
Oh,
guys.
and uniforms.
Yeah, that's where I was going to go next. You need uniforms. You know, I love picking out a color and a logo and a name and just having a whole day of it. So I'm here for that part.
And practice.
Well, I think it depends on the team. Now, I have heard in this kickball league that there are two types of teams, some that are there to win, which might practice, and some that are there to brunch and then play kickball. So
I'm there to brunch.
I would definitely be in the brunch group if I was involved in said kickball.
Because I feel like my reason for, and I have thought about joining a kickball league, and I have friends that have joined such leagues and teams. The reason I would join is adult friendship. Because it's like,
Yeah.
how else do you meet people in your life? Especially if people are working remotely, or maybe you're just a different age than some of your coworkers, or you don't like any of them, or you're not in school anymore. How do you just have like enough exposure to other new people that are like-minded in your life?
I mean, I think that's a really great point and a reason a lot of people do that. I know a lot of people who move to new cities in particular and are like, yeah,
Hmm.
like kickball, biking, hiking, all different kind of outdoor activities, rock climbing groups. I
Yeah.
think it's a great way, and especially, in this scenario with like queer, like if you're coming out and you don't have a community that is like, of that similar mindset and similar experiences as you, it might be nice to like meet people in that community that you weren't able to meet otherwise.
Yeah, and I love kickball too as this coming out as this like queer safe space because also it just does seem more fun than like I definitely know people who found their community through rock climbing because they are rock climbers. They want to do that and that is very involved and it's an exercise, it's a workout. They're going to get very intense about it. Whereas like kickball like you said can be your brunch time, but it's not like going out at the club and meeting people you're going to hook up with. It's like a very reasonable scenario to meet people who are there just there to like have fun. And like it's a thing that you can kind of focus on as this other thing and it keeps the conversation going.
Yeah, I mean, it's really more enticing to a lot of people who are not of that, mainstream outdoor activity, sports kind of people. I think it speaks more to people like me where, a running or a biking group might be a little intense for me. And having some other options is always nice. Um, okay, question. Do you think you need talent to play kickball?
Ooh. I mean, I feel like there is probably a path where you were going to be a baseball player and you tore your shoulder. And now you're like, now I got to go play kickball. And so you have some sort of thwarted talent. I don't think you do really, though, because it's like if you did, then it would be a sport in the Olympics, but it's not. It's just for fun.
Okay, I feel like this is maybe an Onion article, but I feel like I read somewhere in the last couple years that kickball got added.
Oh
This
no.
this sounds like an Onion article, so like, okay, I'm gonna have to Google. Oh my God, Google's gonna be like
Odin,
you're
get
an
on that.
idiot.
Assistant, Google.
I'm glad that you saw him crawl into my lap as I was speaking. Like Odin. Okay, is kickball a Olympic sport? It's gonna say you're an idiot.
I mean, I guess if curling is, then kickball can be.
Okay, so here's the answer. No, but baseball is, and kickball comes from baseball. So we answered our own
Okay.
question there. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's not exactly like you see, like, oh, I was so like, John's getting real good at kickball. He's thinking
Yeah.
of moving to baseball. It's like, no, you already are good at baseball or your sport by whatever age, and kickball is recreation.
That like really got me. I don't know why, but John is really moving up his league. He's gone from that tier, like he became a tier 1 kickball player. He was at the height of his kickball career, but you know what? He just couldn't cut it in baseball. Just couldn't make it.
Now my
It's a
assistant is
tragedy.
joining.
We have so many assistants.
I'm being sexually harassed by my assistant.
Well, she is definitely a foxy
She's
one.
getting a
Little
promotion, I'll tell you
minx.
that.
She
All right.
better.
Well, what do you think we're Oh, and then hopefully you get to play other games and like go to like team outings together, go to Chili's
Mhm.
afterwards
Mhm.
after your game, carb load post
Do
game.
you just keep score by like do you get the point if you make it to home base or do you get a point if you've got to like first base? How do you think this point system
I would
works?
imagine it's probably this. I mean, I don't know actually if there's any different kind of point rules to make it more fun or rewarding, but I would imagine it's like baseball where, yeah, if you clear the bases, you get points for that, but
Mhm.
not necessarily like for loading the bases.
Okay.
How's that tracking with
You
you?
I love the terminology. I was really impressed. I was like, you better load those bases.
Okay, someone was a star T-ball player.
Oh,
Didn't
was
want to
she?
brag, but there it
Hmm.
is.
I played softball 1 year and I threw the thing that like threw the not through the pitch. I did the hit that like won the game in like the playoffs and like I had a coach that was such a jerk that I was like, I'm never playing again. I don't care. I don't care that I had this really great
Wow.
moment. Screw this guy. So third grade. I let go of it. It's
I
fine.
was like in T-ball until they were like, "You're really good. Now you should join softball." And I was like, "F this. I ain't joining no girls league. If I can't do baseball, then I quit." So,
I love this. Hardcore feminist from the
I know.
start.
Exactly.
She but that's great. Okay, what else do we need for the
And then
kickball?
my friend Susie hit me in the mouth with a big T-ball and I was like, "Yeah, they shouldn't let girls play baseball. Let's both quit." And then we did.
Wow. I hope Susie's listening today. No, that's not the game that we're playing, Odin. And he got
Oh.
mad at me and left because I didn't let him play
You
with
wouldn't
my
let him pursue
microphone.
his dreams of being a star on this podcast.
He already is a star. His
That's
little
joking.
meow is the sign off. His little,
That's
which
right.
I had to force him to make. I had to like
No
follow him
cats
around
were
the kitchen.
harmed in the making of this podcast.
Ish.
Ish.
Okay. We don't know how it's scored. We know that you need uniforms and a clipboard and possibly brunch. So, what else are we missing, or have we become experts?
You know what? I think, yeah, once you get out there with your team spirit and you play the game and you have your ice cream sundae afterwards to celebrate, I think I mean, it's out however long the season lasts.
Oh,
And
good
then
question.
hopefully you took a lot of pictures along the way and you can look at those in the off season and try to maybe also there's some betting going on. Sometimes a little sports betting, a little back alley
Ooh,
sports
I didn't
betting might
even
go on.
think. Yeah, you can make a little cash. Bex,
And then
okay,
in the
you play in the
winter you do
game.
something else.
You play in the game. We'll start fixing those games. You'll pull a leg on the third run, and I'll make all that gambling money. I think I just
Yeah,
said
yeah,
something
for
right.
you like go, take a hit, take a
Yeah, yeah,
fall,
yeah.
take
Take
a
a hit.
dive.
Yeah, Bex's
I'm
Bex's
ready.
kickball career.
All right, well, let's kick it into high gear and find out what it takes to be an expert at kickball.
You're
Good.
perfect.
I know.
Oh, wow.
I'm really glad I
What a
recorded
joy to
that.
work with a professional.
Finally.
Yeah, after this one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Ready when you are, Jackie. And
Oh, I'm ready.
okay,
I was
great.
born ready.
Okay. Welcome back. It's us, your friends. We're experts now. We're friends now. That's the
Mm.
true meaning of this podcast. I'm Rebecca, your co-host. Just resetting us. You've been listening to this episode. You know who we are, what we're about. But welcome back.
Welcome again. Thank you for joining us, coming back from the break, deciding that Rebecca and I are not complete idiots and you will continue to listen to the show.
Or skipping the first part, going wild and jumping fresh into part two, which is exciting because now we've got some new chemistry in the vibes. Jackie, what have we added into the equation here?
We want to have one of the most nearest and dearest people in my life, also of part of the lovely little group of that was Lance from a previous episode.
Mm-hmm.
We are all good friends. What we say is actually we are the same person. So this is
Okay.
Jesse. We are actually the same person and
Mm-hmm.
two separate people at the same time. It's
Mm-hmm.
confusing, but Jessaru, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Hello. My name is Jesse. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I am captain of Balls Deep.
Yes, you are.
Repping the merch. I'm like, I need to buy this T-shirt. I love it.
Yeah, can we buy the t-shirt?
Yeah,
Just don't
absolutely.
choke.
Yeah. That was so. Every season we have a new slogan. This was last season. Is just don't choke. And this season is Deeper Daddy.
Deeper Daddy.
Yes. Yes. This is the explicit episode, not safe for
Oh,
children.
this is We're Experts After Dark. Okay, I've got my wine in hand.
Oh, I love this. Jesse, how long have you been doing this in the kickball game?
This is my third season of
Okay.
Kickball.
That's pretty
Wow.
senior, I feel like.
It's not too bad. Not too bad. There's definitely a lot of people that have been playing for a long time, and I had my eye out about playing for a long time, and I finally dove face first into it.
And did you play like in school, or was this just one of those things that it starts to make your way around of like, oh, this is a fun thing adults are doing and I have no other exposure to this?
Yeah, so there was just a lot of people in Sacramento that I knew that played kickball, and I had been kind of eyeing it for a while. I was like, that sounds like a lot of fun. And then, right as kind of things were starting to open back up after the pandemic, they were starting kickball again. I was like, you know what? Like, let's do it. Let's make some new friends. Let's try it out. And I had like a group of like 6 or 7 people that were interested, and I was like, well, we all want to play on the same team, so we should probably just start our own team. And so I accidentally became captain, and I haven't left.
That
That's
is
so
gorgeous. That's like the true spirit of democracy, you know?
Well, I will say this, like, as like a planner, like an event planner, Jesse's one of the few people who I will let plan something for me, because like he's like, oh, I have this idea, and then now I've made a spreadsheet, and I think that's why we love each other so much. So you becoming a team captain just by chance, not surprising one bit to me at all.
It makes sense.
The
It
key
makes
to spreading
sense.
my sheets is a really good spreadsheet. So I will see you there.
Same girl. Okay, Jess, we gotta ask, do I even want to know
Uh-oh.
how do we do?
You did pretty good. I feel like a solid 7 to 8-ish.
Okay, we
Okay.
got a
Yeah.
range.
Yeah.
Is one of us better than the other?
No,
I'll take the 7.
Absolutely not. No. Maybe
Okay.
we'll just call it. We'll call it a flat 7.5.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what people say about me a lot. I appreciate that.
Very flat. And I wouldn't guess that you would get the flat adjective, but maybe that's
You're talking about my personality.
yeah,
actually.
or your like brain folds. They're like the smoothest brain I've ever seen. No.
Let's not bring up this tough subject. Okay, what are the areas of improvement for Rebecca and I?
So let's see areas of improvement. Well, let me just maybe give like a little overview, and we could talk about some things. One thing that jumped out is you only score when you hit home base. You do not score. You do not score
that was
for
definitely Jackie.
Yeah, I was like, what? Who has ever thought that before? No
She's
one
like, you're
has ever
racking up
thought
points
that.
for your style, your vibes, if you're catching
many
really well. Cartwheels.
Yeah, no.
If we did it on cartwheels alone, I would love that. I was walking around campus yesterday with a flower in my hair, and people kept saying, "Oh, that's so nice. Oh, that's so random." And I'm just like, this is just a Tuesday. Just a Tuesday.
So I will say that our league, which is a national league, is Out Loud Sports, and I'd say that these rules are particular to our league and probably vary a little bit from league to league. But you need
I think
a
it's
minimum.
a popular one though, because or maybe the only one or one of the bigger ones, because I've been mentioning it to people in LA here who are like, "Oh, is it Out Loud?"
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I think
Yeah. They have in most major cities. There's an Out Loud Sports. And every one has different like sports and things like that. We have kickball here. We also have bowling, and we're starting soccer here soon. So you could have all sorts of different sports. Dodgeball is also another common one. But to get back to kickball, so you do need 10 people on the field to play a game of kickball. You
All
are allowed.
times?
Yep, to play. Yeah, in the field to play kickball. So you do need minimum 10 people per day to show up. You can have alternates or subs if you do not have enough people. So if you can grab people from other teams, a friend that can alternate in occasionally. You need 12 total people to start a team.
leave it to the gays to have a dozen friends.
Well, so if we didn't when we first started, and so what you could do is you could start a team, and then they will add free agents, so people that just joined that don't have a team to your team, and that's kind of a way to make new friends, which is awesome. Our team this season has 19 players, which is definitely on the bigger side of teams. But what makes it nice about it is more people cannot show up for a game.
Yeah.
The gays are a little challenged to make it to a Saturday morning game after going out Friday night. So,
I
But
does
they
feel
the
dream big the night before. They're like, we're gonna be there. We're gonna win. Let's
yeah.
drink to that, and then they
Yeah,
drink to that all night
exactly.
long.
Yeah. We had 2 weeks in a row of 9 a.m. games, and I
Oh,
looked my team in the
rough.
eye. I was like, if I see any of you at Badlands Friday night, the night before, I'm gonna be mad but I will be there too.
Yeah, you'll be there. I'm like, how are you gonna catch them there unless you're there?
yeah.
Yeah,
Jessie goes to bed early.
yeah,
She likes her rest.
I do.
But I feel like I probably would have been the kickball teammate that you were like, you need to go home right now, Jackie. And I'd be like, just 4 more hours of dancing. It's fine. I love waking up at 6.
I'm pre-gaming. What is there a umpire? Like,
Yeah, so there are 2 umps. There is the home plate ump and the first base ump. Typically, the home plate ump is watching home plate, obviously,
yeah.
balls, strikes, fouls, things like that, and third base. Then the first base ump is typically watching first base and second base to see if people are safe or out.
Did you just learn all this from just having to do it and figure it out? And
Yeah, that's why I
I
said I
love the
fell face first.
entrepreneurialism. Yeah.
That's literally face first. I had no idea what I was doing and just did it.
Did you have
And
like a
so
rule book or something that you could reference?
there is a rule book, and then at the
Okay.
beginning of the season, they'll do like a light training,
Light
to
training.
kind of give you some rules, but it's just kind of figuring it out on the go.
And it's based off of baseball. Yes, that is the history of kickball. That
Yeah.
it's like
Yep.
kind of that, but a little easier to do because it's bigger, softer
Yeah.
ball and kicking it.
And they also have umpires.
Yes, that's why I
Yeah, I
asked about
think
the
so.
umpires.
Pretty sure.
I was because at first I
Yeah.
was like, I've been watching, of course, Ted Lasso, premier prestige television, and I've been thinking about football, soccer, and like the goalies and stuff. But I was like, well, they don't have goalies, but there's umpires, right? And would that have to be someone on your team? Would have to be
And
the
a
ump
pitcher.
and know the rules? Because
Yes,
I
you
feel like
do.
the umps
Good
have to know
job.
the
Good
rules
job.
really
You're
well.
a pitcher.
And the pitcher, yeah.
Wait, so the umpire knows the rules? That's their job?
So particularly the home plate umpire needs to be really good at the rules because they're watching like balls and strikes and fouls and things like that. And so, but what's also really cool is if you if you ump enough times for one season, you get your next season free.
Ooh.
Oh, like you have to pay dues?
Yeah, so each season's about
okay.
$60.
Okay.
And so that includes they have to rent the field, there's equipment to play all of this, and then you get a league shirt, which is not this. This is your team shirt. There's a league shirt, which is kind of just a generic shirt for everyone to wear.
Did you get the shirts made for your team?
I do. One of our fabulous players does graphic design, so he always helps me out and designs them. And then we just put it online and people can buy their own shirts.
Oh, I love that. So,
So-
so that's how I can go buy one if I want. Is your friend just made one, and that's pretty. I love that journey. Okay, so you start with setting up your team. You get all your people together. How do you organize that, right? Because you're saying like we had 3 9 a.m. games in a row. Like, who's deciding this, and can you fight them?
Probably could fight Dan, but he's very nice. Our league manager. I don't remember. You were calling us something. League chief, something like that. Not the league chief, the league manager who oversees everything, and he also does captain his own team. So you can do that.
Seems shady.
That's
He has to
that's
follow the
unfair.
same rules. He follows the same rules that we all follow.
But does he always get
does.
11 a.m. game?
Where's the checks and balances?
So apparently he says it. He puts everything into like a generator, and it like spits out the entire season because so there are 16 teams on our league. We have 2 different divisions, each of 8 teams. There are about 300 and 325 people total across all
and
the
that's
teams.
all Sacramento, Northern California.
Nope, just Sacramento.
Wow,
Just Sacramento.
Love that.
And actually, we filled up our entire league in like 2 weeks this season. And so we're trying to expand and actually have more people playing at one time because right now we can only play 2 games at one time, and so we're limited with the amount of games we could play an entire season, just because we only have 2 fields to play in at one time. So next season we should have 3 fields, which will allow us to play more games at a time.
Yeah, 2 fields, that's like one of my polycules, Like, how am I supposed to get all of my Metamors in one league game?
Exactly.
Okay. I got questions. There's 2 divisions. 1, do the divisions play each other? And then 2, I'm going to ask these questions together because I need to get them out of my brain. Can you like guest in the other leagues? Like, can I be like, oh, I'm in San Diego this weekend. Like, I'm going to go play the other balls deep.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could have a sub from within the league, or it could be a random friend. So like one of our good friends, Josh, might sub for us this weekend, because we
Okay.
have low players.
I think he's done that before.
Yeah, he has.
What do you call him, a sub, Jackie?
No. Go in a different direction.
And so yeah, you could really pull from anywhere. They have to sign a waiver if they're not already in the league.
But do I have to know somebody in the league, or can I just be like, yo,
Yeah.
I'm going to okay, so I can't just show up and be like, can I play, guys?
No.
Like I'm 12.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
It is 21 and over actually to play this particular kickball.
Do they ID you?
No.
Okay.
Loophole.
Suspicious.
But you do have to take a shot at the start of every game, so that's why.
There is sometimes, all the time, alcohol involved in playing. Was I pulling from the handle of Duce on Saturday while playing? Yes.
Okay, did you slap a bag though? Because I am only showing up if we're slapping bags.
If you're there, we're slapping a bag.
Oh my god.
Yes. Slapping that bag. Franzi, I love it. Question before we continue on this journey. I think Lance used to play. Can you talk about his skills?
Lance.
Wow.
We
turn on our own past guests.
He actually hosted our brunch last Saturday at his place. And it was fantastic.
Real Housewives of Kickball.
Did Lance ever kick a ball?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm actually impressed by that. I'm impressed by that feat
and yeah, it was good too. He's fast. He's caught balls too. Yeah.
I'm actually thoroughly impressed by this. Not the catching balls, but the fastness. I'm not fast, so anytime someone can move quickly, I'm just like thoroughly impressed by this.
And he so now he brings his dog, and he cut up one of his old team shirts and puts it on his dog with fringe.
Oh.
So he's our official mascot, little Teddifer.
Yes, Teddy.
I love that so much. That's the sweetest little thing I've ever heard. My godson. Well, okay, so we get our generator, we pop it out, you find out who you're playing. As captain, do you have to bring stuff with you? Or like how do you get everyone there?
Great question. What's in the Soccer Mom SUV?
Lots of reminders. Lots of Friday night, please RSVP so I can make the kicking order and the field
kicking order.
Ooh, kicking order.
Yeah. Ooh, do they bribe you to get like high on the kicking order list?
No, because every fourth player needs to be someone who has a strong leg so that they can boot it. So ideally, right, your first 3 players are consistent, they're good, they're going to get on base, and then your fourth player is someone who's got a leg and can boot it out.
Wow, because you want then everyone else to then empty the bases. I just learned more sports ball in 1 minute than I have ever learned before.
I think you just had a beautiful mind moment there. I didn't even follow fully where your mind went with that, but I saw something happen, and I believe.
Wow. Okay, so you have a kicking order and you strategize this. Mm-hmm. So do you like take notes on your players? Like, George really knows how to boot it.
Yeah, I heard boot it.
Yeah. So we do. We actually just started that this season. One of our team members has a notepad, and so she's keeping track of people's outs, fouls, balls, and things like that, and what base they get to, stats. Yeah.
And I fucking love this. This would be my job.
That's like the person up in the bird's nest, like Johnson stepping up to the plate now, has a couple boots in her history. We're looking for a big one this week on the green, and it's going.
If you need an announcer, you found one right here.
Perfect.
Color commentary, is that what they call it?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I have no idea what they call it. Okay. So you are Friday night. You're asking everybody to show up. Please don't be a dumb hoe. Please
Mm-hmm.
show up. It's okay
Five
if you
shots
vomit while
only.
there.
Five
Yeah,
shots
like
only.
A
we have
reasonable fistful of shots.
Yeah,
okay.
that's like a gay entry into the night. 5 shots, so they're fine.
A gay handshake, yeah.
I heard someone yesterday say at dinner, you count gay marriage in dog years. So we've been married for like 10 years, but it's really
Oh my-
70.
Not wrong.
Wow, a lifetime.
Okay, so we got our stats, we got our
Mhm.
reminders, we got our kicking order, and do we play favorites?
On the kicking order?
Mm-hmm.
No. We actually developed our kicking order as a team.
Is that what you're saying? Wink, wink.
Yeah, wink,
I
wink.
love that. I like
No,
that
that's
everyone
actually
gets so
great.
invested, and I don't know, it's fun to feel appreciated and part of a team and like feel like you're improving and
Mhm.
it's cool. And also I don't think it's by accident that we have brought up queerness a number of times. I just feel like there is some gravitational pull of like, I don't know, there is like this, like I want to hang out with my queer friends somewhere where we're outside and liberated and just like doing something fun and off the beaten path. But maybe I'm just reading into it.
No, I definitely agree, and I think like the fact that queer people are like going out and doing sports in like a place that historically they're not allowed to be in, at least not openly allowed to be in, I think is significant. And even with the name of like Out Loud Sports, we're out, we're
Yeah, that's
loud, we're
actually
in the field.
does that come from like the queer movement at all, like LGBT space?
Yeah, definitely, and part of it. So they've recently done a rebranding. I'm trying to think of what it was before, but I think it was like gay sports or gay something, and so reframing it a little bit to be more inclusive of the entire community. I would
That's what I
say,
was going to
That's
ask.
really cool.
Yeah, is it like we've kind of we've talked about it in general that this is, more of a queer league, but can you talk about like how it's inclusive and like, how those people are outreached or any of that too?
yeah. So I think that has been and in many ways still is an historically gay men's circle. We do have a straight woman on our team. We have queer women on our team as well. There has been like queer women teams, like full teams on our league as well. In the national league, they'll do what they call the she and they league, I think is what they call it. And so it's like predominantly women and like queer identified people that want like a different pace or different style of game than like the traditional male league. So lots of different options depending on your city.
And you said national. So are you saying that there's like a national league of like competitive
Is there an
kickballers?
NKL?
So yeah, they so Out Loud Sports meets every January in Vegas. Why? Because of course the gays go to
Of
Vegas.
course.
Thank you.
Each league, I think, can send 2 teams or something like that. So like each city can send 2 teams to it. I have not gone, but we plan on going next year, not to participate, just to drink.
Okay.
Just to
My
drink.
birthday's in January. I'll join.
Okay, perfect.
I'll
And
be the
so,
stats girl.
But wait, you don't think your team's gonna make it? Is your team
well,
like?
so you can combine, and so I don't know exactly how it works. I haven't been a part of this, but I kind of think it's more like generally and a whole team doesn't want to go or cannot go to Vegas, and so I think it's your league, your total Sacramento league makes up a team or two to send.
Oh, okay, I see. And then you're kind of committed because it
Yeah.
is the commitment. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, that is so cool. I love to like find out about things like that. Someone could have been on their trip to Vegas and not even realize that national kickball leagues were having their championship tournament.
And I'm gonna be
Mhm.
real, as a cis straight white person, I have absolutely no interest in watching a cis kickball league, but give me the queer kickball league all day, and that is going to be a blasty blast. Like,
Oh, we're
and the
funny.
out
We're funny.
fire. Yeah.
Lots of
I'm
Jello shots while you're running.
while you're running. Oh my god, I'd vomit. I would
No.
vomit. I don't run at all.
Lots of when you get to first base, you do a little twerk.
You know what? That's
Mhm.
needed. I don't
Yeah.
see that enough in baseball. If they
I
did that
agree.
in baseball, I would watch.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I do think though that baseball has some, queer roots in it already, like the tight pants. There's no cheerleaders, no women on the field. It takes place on a diamond, and everything revolves around the pitcher.
Wow, Bex.
Yeah.
We might need to do
I
a
think you
deep dive
just
into the queerness of baseball.
I think you just solved the mystery.
Okay, all right. So we have now made it to Saturday morning. We got our friends there. Enough people show up. Okay, well, let's say what happens if they don't if not enough people show up, and then what happens if they do?
So if you don't have enough people show up, you could potentially forfeit the game and lose.
Okay.
You could find a sub to help fill in. And yeah, those are your really two options if not enough people show up. But
Have you
if
ever had
everyone,
to like shoulder tap?
what do you mean?
Like go up to just somebody in the park and be like, "Yo, you want to get in on this like kickball action?"
No, I don't. I don't go up to random people in the park and tap on their shoulder.
If they want to kick balls, okay.
Yeah,
Just
no.
text everyone in the
I'm
area.
like, do you want to go balls deep real quick? No, don't do that. But
Are you a spitter or a quitter?
I don't think we've ever not had enough people, or if I knew we were, I at least planned ahead to like invite people that I knew would be able to play for us. And so I don't think we've ever ran into that issue. But in theory, I guess you could go just to other kickballers that are there because most people stay and watch a game or two after or before their game. So there's generally plenty of people around that can play if that can play. So I don't think I've ever run into that issue. But once they get started, I do like a final check on the kicking order because if they are on the kicking order and they are not there, every time their name comes up on the order, it's an automatic out.
Oh,
So
shit.
about 5 minutes before the game starts, I hand that kicking order to the home base ump, and I do a double check on the roll call, make sure everyone's there. If they're not, their name gets gone. And so if you're late, you don't show. Like if you 10, 15 minutes late, then you get to sit your butt there and watch.
I love that. I
Don't
love
let
a
the
little
team down.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
like
if you RSVP that you're going to be there, show up.
Mm-hmm. Especially when Jesse sent you 14 reminders.
Mm-hmm.
Rules for kickball, rules for life, sweetie.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the equipment's all there. You hand in your kicking order. Is that when your job is done, or do you have to like then herd cats into actually doing what they're supposed to do?
It is like herding cats, absolutely. And so once right before we get started, I do rock paper scissors with the other team captain to decide who. So the winner gets to pick whether they are up bat or on the field first. We kind of we pick whatever. So far, I've won I think all of my rock paper scissors this season, so I'm on a good streak.
You going rock every time? What are you doing?
No, well, I can't say my secret.
Oh,
yeah,
it's a secret. I knew that.
Can't let that out.
Yeah, I can't do the secret. And so, and then we'll pick, whatever side to start on. And then after that, we make sure everyone goes to the right position because typically we have more than 10 players. So there's like alternates between innings. And so, there might be someone that's on first base the first inning and the next inning they're switching out or something like that. So I have to make sure that we don't have like 4 or 5, or we don't have 5 people in the outfield because someone didn't look at the things right. And then, we'll go do our outfield stuff. We'll catch some balls. Hopefully they don't score any runs. And then we go up to kicking. You have to kick in the order of your kicking order or it's an out. And so it's a lot of yelling like this person's next, etc. While we're also kicking, you need a coach on first base and a coach on third base because they're responsible for telling people if they are running or staying.
Are the coaches part of the team or are these additional? Okay.
Yeah, so while we're kicking,
you have 10 people on the field and coach.
No, so we've already caught our balls. We've got them out. We are now kicking, so we're off the field.
Okay.
And we're keeping a close look at the kicking order. And then we have someone on first base and third base who are like responsible for telling you to go or not.
Okay, I actually never would have thought about that. I would have just been like, and you make that decision in the moment.
I'm also wondering, do you have, I literally almost called it rehearsals. Sorry, theater kid. Do you have practices and drills and like, is there real coaching involved or is it just like, let's all kind of try to know the rules and then do our best?
I would say it's a little bit of both. We're a pretty like easygoing team, and so we mentioned the two leagues earlier. There's like the rec team and like the more serious side, and so we're definitely on the rec side where we like to go out, have fun, make new friends. We win, that's awesome, but like we're just out there really for fun. So we do practice. We like to scrimmage other teams like on off nights and stuff like that, and just work on little drills, but nothing overly serious.
And do you have to plan all those too as the captain?
I do.
Oh wow, Jesse! I didn't know
I
everything
know,
that you
that's
were
why I'm
doing.
like thinking about the practicality of this, like remembering like swim team practice and like got to do your bear crawls and like know how to do certain exercises. But I'm sure it's
Stretches
much more
and
just do a little bit of cardio. It's nice to get your blood pumping a little bit, and then just make sure you know the rules so you can kind of make your best decision out there in the field.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, so then we're kicking, we're catching, we're pitching, we're umping, we're
No,
basing.
you're not umping your own game. That would not be okay.
Okay, but the league chief can be a captain, but you can't ump your own game. I don't understand this.
Well, yeah, because like the ump is the one calling safe and out. So like I can't look at my runner and be like, oh, that was safe.
Because he's the referee.
Yeah. Yes,
Okay.
the referee.
I kind of always thought the umpire was like a player on someone's team.
It is so I can go ump for another game. I cannot ump for my game.
And this is the same in baseball?
I have no idea.
I don't know. I don't think baseball umps are players.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, the umps in our kickball league are volunteers from other teams.
Okay. Interesting. That totally makes sense, but I guess I never really thought of it. I just kind of thought of it. I don't know. I really didn't think about it.
So the ump is the cute guy you have a crush on another team for your game, and you're like, look at my butt while I stand here.
Exactly.
Okay. I can be an ump. Okay, now how do you start to close out? Okay, how do you someone's keeping score. Who's keeping score?
The home base ump.
Because there's two of them.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And so you guys have innings?
Yep. So it's a 50-minute game, and then once we get to 10 minutes before the end of the game, you do one more full inning, and then it's over.
Okay. And that's roughly 4?
I don't know if I've ever kept track, but probably about 4 to 6-ish. It could really depend though. Like sometimes you have 3 people up and they get 3 people out right away. Sometimes you score 5 or 6 in an inning. So it really could vary depending on the game.
Okay, so it's about an hour long no matter what. I like that. I like a little break. And then what do you do at the end? Like, do you like high five each other?
Yeah.
Gatorade dumped over the coach.
No.
Jello
because there's going to be vodka in the Gatorade, so we don't want to waste that.
Yeah. Good
sticky.
Yeah.
Don't want to
no, so you go in a team, they go 1, 2, 3, and then you say the good game, other team's name.
Aww.
And then you go do a little high five.
And slap butts. Try to sneak in slapping butts.
Of course. Yeah. Only people that you know.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
And then what do you do as like the captain? Do you like send the scores in to?
Nope, that's ump does that, goes to the team manager or the manager.
Because otherwise you'd be like, we got 26, and the other team would be like, we got 26. That's so weird. No one scored anything in the entire game. Okay. What else are we missing?
What else are you missing? Well, a really important factor is actually the brunch after you play.
Yes,
really
you gotta take
why
care of
I'm
yourself.
there. Yeah. So
is there a specific brunch spot?
So our team goes to lowbrow, typically.
Of course.
Lots of vegan, gluten-free options for those weird people out there. I'm one of them.
And the other.
I mean, you gotta earn. You earned your carbs.
Exactly.
You gotta have them.
We also like that spot because it's, everyone goes up and buys their own food, buys their own drinks. You're not at a table and have to split check and deal with all of that
That's
stuff.
a good
So,
call. That's very important to like the culture of the team. I feel like we're not
mhm.
forcing anyone to put this on their credit card and chase you down. This
Yeah,
is a take care of yourself type
And
of game.
yeah.
bonus, it's right
So
next to the comedy spot. Shout out. Love
there you
them.
go.
So,
Also, if you're
Also, right
not
next
from
to the depot.
Sacramento, these are
yeah.
all Sacramento locations for
Yeah.
other listeners in other places. And if you ever go to Sacramento, you now have a list of places to go.
Yeah. And what's cool is kind of like a lot of the teams kind of will have their brunch spot, and they'll go there after. And then most of the teams will go to like the depot after, and the depot gives half off drinks if you're in your jersey.
Oh, that's so
Aw,
sweet.
we love that. A little supporting.
Yeah. My liver
Um,
doesn't, but
Yeah. Well, Liver, I hardly knew her. You know what I mean?
yeah, you
yeah.
didn't need to. All right. Are we missing anything else, or is it time for Bex and I to really throw caution
Are there
to the wind?
I think
cheerleaders? Are there
Oh, yeah.
scandals? Are
Oh,
there?
yeah.
There is always seem to be a little bit of like drama here and there, but not we don't really never had any drama on our team that at least I'm aware of. So it's just
But
like
you
to
get
stay
the
out of
tea.
that. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
And cheerleaders, like I said earlier, there's always people before and after watching games. Unless you're the 9 a.m. game, there's typically people watching your game.
Okay, I love that. That's sweet.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
it's fun to like invite your friends and family to be like, hey, come hang out for an hour, and then we'll go to brunch afterwards.
My family's come a few times and watched the games.
That's awesome.
I have not. I'm not a good friend.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Like FaceTime me in. I'll watch it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just set you in the corner.
Yeah, they need to start doing
Where I like
live
to be.
streams for these games.
I would watch this. Actually, I would totally watch this. This is the only sports ball that you could get me to watch. Like, oh, honey, what you doing today? Oh, I'm just watching the gay kickball league. Like,
Mix it with some like one-on-one interviews, and you've got a dating reality show.
that's an idea. Okay, Bex, you ready for this?
We're ready to step up to the plate and kick a home run.
Okay.
Ooh, sports-
First thing I learned today. Not a league chief, it is a league manager. I like that you mouthed it out for me, Jesse. This is a good friend. And that person gets his 16 leagues, and the captain
16 teams.
16 teams,
16 leagues, 16
Two
leagues under the
divisions.
sea.
2 divisions, and people find their own people for their teams, and if there's free agents, they can get slotted in. And then
I like the idea of being a free agent in kickball. You're just like, yeah, I just come to town when they need me. When they need me to boot it.
when they need a booter. Okay. And then you, as the captain, you get your schedule, you get your team, if you got your extra people, and then you start to organize them. You get your t-shirts made, you get your statistics on your players, you do your kicking order. What else, Bex?
You really like blew through it. I feel like you are ready to start your own kickball league.
No,
I'm
I
like,
panicked.
wow.
I said every word I could think of as quickly as possible.
You're like, I want something to do with my friends, and I've got about 10 of them, and we're going to get some other friends to start showing up, and you just, figure it out as you go. Like, we need to know the rules, and we need to start figuring out what everyone's good at, and just showing up and like having fun. And I think that kind of like builds your momentum, and then you're like, wow, who's like really good kicker, got some real spice on their punt there, they're going to be our kicker. And like, it's just like, I think you just kind of figure it out as you go. And it's great when someone rises to the challenge of filling out that spreadsheet and learning all the regulations. Because I heard the word waiver, and I was like, some people are wavering when they hear waiver. You know what I mean? They're not ready for paperwork.
That's Bex and me in different ways. You're not ready for paperwork. I'm not ready for a commitment. So.
I'll sign anything, but I didn't know it existed. You know what I mean? I didn't know I needed to.
Okay, so once you've given your liver to the kickball league, you hopefully show up on Saturday, and you take some Jello shots. You cheer on your friends. You recheck the kicking order.
Yes, because you don't want to get dinged for people who didn't show up.
Yes, and then you shame them if they don't show up.
Absolutely.
A lot of public shaming. And then
they might be into that, though. They might be into that.
Then you praise them in public, and that hurts worse than any slight you could say about
actually,
them.
that's probably worse for me. Like, if someone was like, "Oh, you're so great," I'd be like, "Stop talking about me. This is so embarrassing." And then you get to kicking and catching.
Kicking,
and
catching, running.
No, not umping.
No.
Yeah, not
no.
No
and coaching.
Yep. There you go.
And then don't forget the most important part, brunch.
I almost forgot brunch.
You've got to get the girls together afterwards for brunch and talk about everything that happened this game and everything you're going to do during the week and next game. And then you get like in the fever of it, and maybe you go to Vegas and you just go to watch and be part of Kickball fever.
Kickball fever. Okay. How do we do now?
I think you're at a solid 9.5. 9.5. No, wait, hold on, take it back. 9.
We got too excited. If we were cool as cucumbers, he would have given us the 9.5.
Yeah.
Well,
got cocky.
Fair enough. Kickball's serious business. You gotta be ready. I mean, are you gonna be responsible for your team? You gotta be balls deep. And do you know what your slogan? Do you know what your slogan is gonna be for this upcoming season?
I do. Should I spoil it?
Yes, please. This will come out for a few weeks.
Okay. It's we are balls deep. Don't pull out.
Okay, that's a good one. And that's what everyone says, you know? Like, it's the way you live your life. I can't wait to be screaming that slogan soon.
Okay, you better.
I feel like what's my like gay ladies kickball slogan? Like balls, kick 'em if you got 'em. I don't know.
We did have a team called Les Brunch. They were the lesbian team, and so at the end of the game, you'd say, 1, 2, 3, good game, Les Brunch. Let's brunch. I thought that one was really clever.
I enjoy that.
If you have a few minutes, go look at gay kickball team names because it is fun.
And on that note, is there anything you want to plug for you or the Kickball League or anything else people should check out?
Just go to Out Loud Sports and check out their website. There's probably a league nearby you, so go and have some fun.
Oh, well, I'm going to check it out.
I am too, for sure.
Need friends desperately.
You do.
I left the Sacramento area and I'm just Ronery. So thank you, Jessie, so much for coming on the episode. This was so fun.
Good luck to your team.
Yeah, we'll be screaming balls deep all year.
Thank you.
And just thank you. Thanks for being an expert with us.
Yeah, thank you both so much. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun.
Okay.
Let's go kick some balls.
Kick some balls.
This has been a Just Being Better Media production.